the question of the hour is what to do in the face of the attacks on the press. The Matrix case was not the only instance of attacks, threats, harassments against the press. There were 127 others. From June 30, 2016 to April 30, 2019. Well, the reason why we have this information is because the Center for Media Freedom Responsibility has been tracking attacks on the press and the media, including the killing of journalists. During the same period, meaning June 30, 2016 to April 30, 2019, there were 12 killings of journalists, meaning these were job-related. They were killed because they were doing journalistic work. However, despite the threats, the harassments, the physical attacks, the libel suits, there were also a number of libel suits. We have an 87-year-old libel law in the Philippines. And this goes back to the 1932. And in addition, you have the Cybercrime Prevention Act, which has incorporated the old libel law, but raising the penalties 1 degree higher. In any case, despite all these attacks and even the killing of journalists, 164 journalists have been killed in the Philippines since 1986, and only about 14 cases has there been any partial resolution. The resolution is partial because the masterminds have not been persecuted. Have not been prosecuted, I'm sorry, not persecuted, prosecuted. In any case, there are journalists, however, among us in both the corporate and alternative media who are making the best of a bad situation, who are getting at the truth and reporting and interpreting it. Some of those journalists are with us today, and I'd like to take this opportunity to once again acknowledge the great service they're providing, not only to the defense of press freedom, but also to everyone else's right to free expression. Press freedom is part of the larger right to free expression, and when it is challenged, there is the possibility that even that larger right, the right to free expression, can be undermined. If that is the good news is that there are these journalists who are trying to get the news out somehow, despite all the pressures, the threats, the attacks, and even the killings. If that is the good news in these perilous times, the bad news is that there are also other creatures who have the audacity to call themselves journalists, who have made a career out of spreading false and distorted information to serve the political and business ends of their patrons as well as of themselves, and who daily debase the democratic discourse in behalf of preventing the changes so sorely needed in this veil of tears. There is the so-called National Press Club, whose mostly tabloid and public relations members use May 3, World Press Freedom Day, to attack other media organizations and press freedom itself. There are 3 broadsheets in the same category, with one noted for supporting whatever regime is in power, another for housing the chorus line of the Duterte regime, and another owned by a Duterte ally whose limits of competence include the inability to even write coherent headlines, let alone news reports. I'm sorry to be criticizing the media, but that is part of the mandate of the Center for Media Freedom and Responsibility. We praise good work and we criticize the bad. There are others in broadcasting on TV and radio, many of whom have never had a single day's training in journalism, but who daily subject the media audiences to a tidal wave of falsehood. I won't mention the online trolls because they have neither the pretension nor the minimum skills needed to qualify as journalists. But the online trolls are there, and they daily demonize the critical and independent press, as well as the practitioners. They indulge in hate speech. They urge people to kill journalists. They urge people to rape women journalists, and so on. As bad as this is, however, it gets even worse. Occupying the bigger space between these two groups are the majority of media practitioners who apparently think that the responsibility ends once they've quoted the powerful, despite the urgency of combating misinformation and disinformation. You see this every day, no? He said this, he said that, and so on and so forth. Much of their work in these critical times consists of he said, she said reporting, in which he claims no matter how outrageous, absurd, tasteless, and dangerous this or that source said about an issue or event are quoted without analysis, critical discernment, or context. This kind of reporting isn't journalism, but stenography. As the Australian filmmaker and journalist John Pilger points out. In the words of Bob Woodward, who together with Carl Bernstein broke the Watergate scandal story in 1972 that led to the resignation of then US President Nixon, getting the full story and the meaning of that story is journalism's task. There are journalists who just think that they are getting the full story but who do not provide the meaning of that story. Because there is no context of the reporting, there is no discernment, there is no critical analysis. He said, she said reporting, unbeknownst to their practitioners, makes them complicit in the regime campaign against civil society as well as the independent press. An Ateneo School of Government discussion paper that looked into the reasons for the dominance of the regime narrative on the thousands of extrajudicial killings in the course of its war on drugs, thus led it to conclude that it was due to journalism's conventions. According to this discussion paper, the reason why the regime narrative is dominant is because of the failings of the press. And the failings of the press consist of, and one of the reasons for the failings of the press, according to that discussion paper, are the conventions of journalism. I don't quite agree with that. I think it is because of the misinterpretation by many journalists of the meaning of those conventions. More often than not, for example, among those conventions are the reliance on the words of the prominent. Journalism students know that from Journalism 101, right? I mean, the news value of prominence, for example, no? Okay, the news value of prominence leads journalists to own the powerful, the famous, the rich, the wealthy, and so on. In any case, more often than not, and there is also the mantra of objectivity. We are told that we have to be objective, which is completely, I think, untenable. More often than not, the first leads to ignoring the narrative of ordinary folk, but the second results in the absence of context, on the argument that by providing background on an issue or event, the journalist ceases to be objective. The conventional news values of prominence is too often a bias for the powerful, the famous, and the rich. Objectivity, on the other hand, undermines the imperative of providing the meaning of a story by locating it in history, which in any case is practically impossible to achieve in any form of writing. I'm referring not to locating it in history, but to objectivity. Writing being up from the very beginning selective and interpretive. This kind of reporting cannot go on without seriously impeding the need to develop an engaged and informed audience that is among the responsibilities of competent, ethical, and professional journalism. Among the responsibilities of the journalist is to create this kind of audience. It is not to pander to what it thinks are the biases and the prejudices of an audience. There is, however, some indication that some journalists have begun to see the need for discernment in reporting. The so-called matrix story, which was actually opinion disguised as news, was not only just briefly mentioned by much of the media. So there's some reason for a bit of encouragement. The report also provided such vital contextual information as that the matrix story came on the heels of questions raised by the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism story on the wealth of Mr. Duterte and his family. Additionally, some reports did mention that the matrix tale was not only among the most recent of similar tales about Oust Duterte, that among others included the Red October story last year. Do we remember that? Which implicated several universities, including the University of the Philippines. And also, Duterte's son Paulo's claim over a Facebook post that there was another plot involving Vice President Rene and fast food restaurant Jollibee. The most effective response to the current threats to press freedom is for journalists and their media organizations to do their jobs well. to respect the facts, verify the information, and most of all, provide analysis. But coalitions such as Freedom for Media, Freedom for All have also been formed by individual journalists and some media and journalist organizations to defend press freedom and free expression. Freedom for Media and Freedom for All is a quotation of several journalistic organizations, including NUJP, National Union of Journalists of the Philippines, PCIJ, and CNFR, among others, the Philippine Press Institute, and so on. Fact-checking not only the statements of sources, but also their own reports has been emphasized as urgently necessary to combat the campaign to vilify the independent press and erode its credibility. But the efforts to unite journalists has foundered on the shows of the divisions that have always been the fundamental weakness of a press and media controlled by conflicting political and economic interests. This brings me to the need for journalistic schools. I'm sorry to have to mention this, but I can't help it because I was in the College of Mass Communication for about 30 years. But in any case, this brings me to the need for journalism schools to make the study of the political economy of the media part of their curriculum, in furtherance of the imperative of inculcating in the next generations of journalists the duty of defending press freedom and free expression, so that they may find the means and the courage to unite the media community in that democratic, essential enterprise. Thank you.